Hello, today I'm explain one scenario from MQ2 file via SAP the requirement is like we are getting some JMS header and payload from MQ system, and we need to generate a file for this payload, and we need to use JMS header parameter content for the file name of the target. So in this case we don't need any mapping, so I would like to use dynamic configuration bean to get the JMS header content for my receiver communication channel. If you want without dynamic configuration bean also we can achieve using mapping. We need to access the dynamic adapter specific message attributes in message mapping and pass the take the value of JMS header parameter and pass the value to the file name. So like that also you can do that. So in this case I'm using dynamic configuration bean. So let us see what my scenario. In my scenario we are having so this is my for JMS application system. For testing purpose we can load some sample payload and you can add some RFH to parameters like tag file name. So my file name would be RFH2_POC for my target file name. So this is at a JMS application system side. Now let us see the configuration PS side. And PS side we are having one ICO. JMS is a sender, and we are not using any operation mapping. This is a simple pass-through scenario, and if you observe the central communication channel configuration, we use JMS adapter at a central level, and we have used some connection parameters to connect the JMS application system. And we are also having processing tab. In this one we use some authentication parameters to connect JMS system, JMS application system. And if we observe the advanced tab, we need to enable the adapter specific message attributes, and for this one we need to check how to use the adapter specific message attributes for JMS sender. So for this one, go for the SAP help and see the configure the JMS adapter. So in this case we have different technical names for this JMS message correlation ID. Like that we have different technical names. So this technical name will be useful for us for configuring the dynamic configuration bean. But I'm not using these technical names in this case. I'm using additional attributes. So if we can set maximum attributes up to 10. So my first technical name for the first attribute is DC JMS message property 0. So in this case I just simply enabled specify additional JMS message properties. As of now it is only one. You can put up to maximum 10 as he mentioned in the SAP help. Then pass so with the same name, file name, JMS application system on added header content with file name and content also. This is the value I want to access for my receive file communication channel. So let us see the configuration for the file communication channel. For the file communication channel, target location would be some file location, and the important thing is here module tab. So by default we are having a call SAP adapter. Before generating a file, I want to use my dynamic configuration beans to get the value from the JMS header. So here we have used two entries here. One is for setting, one is for getting. For set file name, so first I want to get a file name from the JMS. So take a value, right? So for this one we need to understand how to use the dynamic configuration bean for my scenario. Yeah. So go to SAP help and see how exactly we can use the dynamic configuration bean in our different cases. In this case we can use different action parameters like insert, delete, read and write, and this is the format we can use in this format. So we can go through this SAP help and familiar with how to use the dynamic configuration bean before or after. Based on the requirement we can use this dynamic configuration bean modules before call SAP adapter or after call SAP adapter. So in this case my receiver is file adapter, right? So I want to process something before calling standard SAP adapter. So if it is for the sender, if it is for this, maybe in this case I used sender side. There is some other cases also we can use that after call SAP adapter module bean. But the case is like it's vice versa. If you want to achieve the same requirement in vice versa, then it would be after the call SAP adapter. So I take a value from JMS header. So write HTTP some value JMS. So it will look into the JMS header content and take the value of the DC JMS property 0, and the value would be module.file name. Now I want to use this value in my file. So read, this is my file parameter. So for the file adapter I want to update file name as with this module name. So like that we can use these properties. And also configured processing parameters like counter. I added some counter as shown here, and also simply enabled the adapter message attributes for file name only. So after triggering on message from JMS application system, the message header content would be like this. So I'm having DC JMS header message property 0 because I'm passing enabled only one parameter in my central communication channel, so that I'm able to see only one content, and I retrieved the name and generated a file with the same name. See here, file name value RFH2 underscore POC. If we run it, because as per the processing definition it will add some counter also. So we are saying if you trigger 4 times at the JMS sender side, you will see 4 received files as per the definition of the processing file. So for more information you can also refer these links. So this is one of the good example how to use the dynamic configuration bean store file name to receiver header without mapping. So this is one of the good example. It will help you to understand more on this one, as well as we have one more blog which is useful how to use the same thing, how to configure JMS sender as well as enabling the parameters. If you want to use without dynamic configuration bean, you can also use UDF and operational mapping to set our target file parameters using this dynamic configuration class in the UDF. Or else you can also use else without mapping. Also we can achieve the same thing just as we just discussed. So these blogs will be useful for your to understand more on how to access the RFH H2 parameters, accessing in our JMS communication channels, and how to use the dynamic configuration bean in different cases. Thanks for watching this session. Bye.